Hey everybody, it's Jason Creel and this is the Lawn Care Life. Today I got a call and I just pulled up on a lawn. Actually just finished treating the lawn, but it's a St. Augustine lawn that is covered with weeds. And I want to show you the lawn, show you the weeds, and then talk to you specifically about what I did today to try to fix this ugly lawn. Let's get started right now. All right, so here's the yard, and I'm in the Birmingham, Alabama market. We don't have a lot of St. Augustine grass, but you do see some, particularly in my town and the older part of the city. And so here is some St. Augustine grass in this particular lawn. And the homeowner called me, and this is a rental property for him, he wanted to not lose the yard completely. Okay, so I don't typically take on like these project lawns like this, but because I do his own personal lawn, I decided to come over and help him out, and it wasn't far from my house, so it made sense. So I get up to the lawn and I look at it, and of course I'm overwhelmed with the amount of weeds, and you've got some issues here. You got some mature trees that are creating shade, and St. Augustine grass will tolerate shade, but doesn't mean it necessarily likes it. And you can see that out here where there's more sun, the St. Augustine grass is doing great. So one thing you can do if you have a lawn and it's not doing great, you might consider cutting down some trees, or at least some of the limbs, creating some of your shade issues. So that's one thing. And then as I looked at the lawn over here where it's more sun, it's not as many weeds. And then when I get into the area that's more shaded, there's one weed that is completely dominating the lawn, and that's our good friend Creeping Charlie, otherwise known as ground ivy. And there is ground ivy for days. Okay, so it's just Creeping Charlie all through here, and this is a tough weed to control. Other factors, St. Augustine grass can be sensitive to herbicides, so we want to be careful on what we use, and it can be difficult, control tough weeds without damaging the grass. So you get back in here and there's just tons of ground ivy. There's clover mixed up in here, and a lot of broadleaf weeds and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what the names of every one of them are. You got yellow wood sorrel. This looks like a little clover with a yellow flower blooming on it. It's field madder that has this little purple flower on it. Maybe some mature cudweed that's putting up a big stalk like this. Lots of stuff going on in this yard, and just kind of showing you around. You might see some stuff that even looks kind of pretty. You got dandelions blooming. I don't particularly love those, but I've got burrweed that gets the little stickers in your feet if you walk out here barefoot. And then you got this, some type of clover looking thing with purple flowers on it. So, if that was in a flower bed, it might be great. I don't particularly love it in the middle of your yard. All right, so a few things to consider when you take on a yard like this. When I'm looking at this, what do I want to make sure I'm not screwing something up pretty seriously? So here's the thing I need to think about. One, I don't really want to spray a bunch of herbicides on this St. Augustine lawn if it's not fully green now. So I'm doing this application late April, and our cold weather is pretty much gone as far as any concern of freezing weather. And the St. Augustine grass is pretty much green. I'm not saying as green as it's going to be in June or July, but it's fully green. I would say we're past what we call transition stage, where it's transitioning from dormancy to its summer green color. So I feel safe about applying that, because if you were to spray it, let's say a month ago, you may delay the green up significantly with the products I'm using. The other thing I want to do in this situation is I want to make sure to set the customer's expectations, to think that if you haven't treated this yard in years and years and years and years, that I can't come in at one time and work a miracle and it's gonna look like a golf course in a month from now. I don't think that's realistic, but I do think it's realistic that we can see significant improvement. So I try to really set the expectations for the customer before I start, so that they have a clear understanding. Another thing I want to check for is I want to make sure that there is enough desirable turf grass to where if I kill off the weeds, I'm not basically leaving bare dirt. So that's not going to be ideal. And I had to actually think about that for a little bit, and I talked to the customer about it. As I'm out here, there's plenty of St. Augustine grass in this area, no problem at all. But as I move over here to some of these areas, there really is very little desirable turf grass. So I think that's something you want to talk to the homeowner about, or if it's in your own lawn, you need to understand that if you have very little turf grass and you kill the weeds, it may be kind of thin in some areas. So here the ground ivy is basically taken over completely. Is there some grass hidden in here somewhere? Maybe, but I see very little desirable turf grass in this particular area. Now again, as you move over here to where there's sunlight, there's significantly more St. Augustine grass, and St. Augustine grass does spread fairly quickly, so I'm hoping over the course of the summer we can get some significant recovery on this lawn. Okay, so those are the considerations. I think there's enough turf grass to work with, at least in most of the yard. There was a section of the yard, let me just show you that real quick. When we looked over here, and I did explain to the customer, I said, you know what, in this particular situation, on this side of the yard, I don't really see any desirable turf grass. I see poa annua, I see clover, I see ground ivy, but I don't see much of any desirable turf grass on this side of the lawn. Now, here's just a little bit of common Bermuda, which, you know, if you want to make a project out of this, would probably spread. I saw some crabgrass starting to pop up over here, which is not a good thing, and it's kind of late to try to deal with that from a pre-emergent standpoint. Because it's already germinated. Let me see if I can find, yeah, I believe this is some baby crabgrass here. It's already showing its ugly head in this lawn. So I talked to him about this side. I said, I don't see much desirable turf grass. He said, yeah, don't worry about that side. I'm not as concerned with that. I just want the front of the house to look better. So I've actually already sprayed the lawn. I'm going to show you what I sprayed on the lawn. This is a particular product called Manor, and it has the active ingredient metsulfuron. And you can get metsulfuron under different label names, and you see the measuring cup it comes with, and I'd put just 1/4 of an ounce on this measuring cup, 1/4 of an ounce per acre. Now if you don't understand how to figure that out, there's a calibration video. If you get done watching this, you could do a search for calibration lawn care life on YouTube, and it should come up where you can understand how to calibrate yourself, your sprayer, so you'll know how much chemical to put in the tank. Because I understand most people's yards is not exactly 1 acre. Now I'm using a Ride-On spreader sprayer today. I got some of my favorite stickers on there: Toro, Harrell's, Lawn Care Live, Spiker Spreaders, and the Lawn Care Nut. Alan Haynes got their stickers to decorate my spreader sprayer a little bit. And this one, with 12 gallons of water in it, covers about 1 acre. So it's a quart per 1,000 square feet. So I put 12 gallons of water in there, and then I'm putting the 1/4 ounce of metsulfuron in the tank. And I'm also using another product I don't have to show you today, but it's called Change Up. It's a product we use a lot. And I put the 1/4 ounce of metsulfuron, some surfactant, and then I put 12 ounces of Change Up. Now 12 ounces is actually below the labeled rate for St. Augustine, but when I'm combining it with the metsulfuron, I think I can get good results on that. 16 ounces would be the labeled rate for St. Augustine, and you can go higher than that on Centipede, Zoysia, and Bermuda lawns. So there you have it. I've got surfactant, I've got 1/4 ounce per acre of metsulfuron under the brand name Manor, and I've got 12 ounces of Change Up. The Change Up should give us some pretty fast results as far as some of these broadleaf weeds. I would imagine we're getting up in the 80s over the next few days. Some of these broadleaf weeds are going to be wilting within a few days. The clover will probably start kind of turning belly up a little bit and start looking sad. Now the ground ivy, Change Up, I know is a great product for ground ivy. I do have another video where I control ground ivy. If you search ground ivy lawn care life, it'll come up. And I use Change Up, and it gets great results. Now, it can be slow to die. It's a tough one to die. The Change Up should also do great on the oxalis, which can be a little bit of a tough weed to control as well. But the ground ivy, I do believe, will start dying out over the next month or so. You know, it's not going to be overnight. Again, that is by far our primary problem. If there's poa annua and stuff like that in here, I'm just going to let the heat kill that. My application is not going to do a whole lot for that, but the heat should get it sooner than later. Now, knocking out a vast majority of these weeds with one application would be great, and I think the homeowner would be happy with that, but that's not going to fix all his problems. I know it's an investment house, he's trying to stay on a budget, but I encouraged him. I said, you know what, I think it would make sense to fertilize the lawn also. I know you're not trying to spend a lot of money, But if you have a thin St. Augustine lawn and it's getting choked out by the weeds, even if we get rid of the weeds, if we can get the St. Augustine to really spread and recover over the course of the summer, I think it'll help. You know, obviously the lawn will look better, but it also help with the weeds moving forward. So that's what we did. I put a slow release polymer coated fertilizer out that I get from Harold's, high nitrogen, and put it out. That's hopefully going to feed this lawn over the next 4 or 5 months to where we can get some significant recovery of the St. Augustine grass over the course of the summer and make this thing look much better. So if I spray it today and fertilize it, will this yard be perfect from now on? Of course not. And it would be great to spot treat some weeds in the summer, and in the fall, I would like to use 4 ounces or 4.5 ounces of spectacle flow on my centipede and St. Augustine lawns that can greatly reduce the amount of spring weeds you're going to have next year. So that's what I would prefer to do if this was an ongoing situation. I don't know if it will be or not, but I think we can get great results, significant improvement just for what we did today. So if you have a yard that's looking terrible, this is what I did to this one. I wouldn't so much be so concerned about the crabgrass and the St. Augustine lawn. You may get some, but you notice I didn't put a pre-emergent out today. If I could have sprayed it in January or February, I would have probably done that, but I don't think that we're going to get a lot of crabgrass pressure on this St. Augustine lawn. If you do, you might come at it with a post-emergent and try to control it later on. But I think that was going to be the least of the concerns for this lawn. It's got much bigger problems that we're trying to deal with right now. We're going to take it layer at a time. I'm Jason Creel. I appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments if these videos are helpful. If you're thinking about getting in the weed control and fertilization business or the mowing business, you can go to lawncarelife.com. Resources there, including video courses, programs, pricing charts, all kind of stuff that I use for my own business at lawncarelife.com. I also have a brand new channel out called Fix A Lawn, Fix-A-Lawn, where I'm doing some extreme ugly lawn makeovers from a mowing perspective and hopefully from a weed control perspective. I'd appreciate your support on that channel. Subscribe to that one. It's hard to get a YouTube channel up and going, I found out, but it's going well so far, and I hope to continue making good content on both channels, Lawn Care Life and Fix a Lawn. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.